Picture this. You show up to work, open an email from a senior executive, wire some funds exactly as requested, and then, a few hours later, you realize you just handed $60 million to a cybercriminal. No joke, that is exactly what happened to a real company in Luxembourg in August of 2024. And those funds? Gone. Never recovered. Now, if you're thinking, wow, what a crazy, rare fluke, well, think again. Every single day, we're looking at over 3.4 billion phishing emails being sent out worldwide.
Now you might be wondering, don't we have, advanced firewalls and spam filters for all this? And yeah, we absolutely do. But attackers know a secret. The absolute easiest way into a secure network isn't hacking complex software, it's hacking the human. Actually, a staggering 74% of all security breaches still come down to human error and social engineering. The technology catches a lot, for sure, but the absolute most dangerous threats slip right past the filters and straight into your inbox, just waiting for you to make a mistake.
So welcome to this explainer. Today, we are all about transforming you from a vulnerable target into an empowered, confident digital defender. We're going to break down exactly how modern cybercriminals are trying to trick you right now, and we'll give you a highly effective, systematic defense playbook so you can spot these threats miles away before you ever click a single link. Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our clear, 6-part roadmap for today. First up, an introduction to phishing. Then, spotting common signs, analyzing links and attachments, modern deceptive tactics, practical tips for protection, and finally, exactly what to do after clicking.
Section 1. Introduction to Phishing. Defining the modern threat.
So, the National Institute of Standards and Technology, or NIST, defines phishing as a digital form of social engineering. Basically, the core idea here is that an attacker lures a user to interact with a counterfeit system. Maybe they're masquerading as your HR department, or maybe they're pretending to be a frantic CEO. The goal is to trick you into revealing sensitive information. Notice how this definition focuses completely on human psychology? That's because phishing relies entirely on creating a false sense of urgency, fear, or authority to force you to act before you have time to think.
And honestly, this threat comes in quite a few different flavors. You've got business email compromise, or BEC, which, by the way, is exactly what caused that massive $60 million loss we talked about earlier. Then there's spear phishing, which uses highly targeted, deeply researched personal information to manipulate you. When attackers aim even higher and target the C-suite or top executives, that's known as whaling. And lately, they're even moving beyond just email with phishing. That's where an email might simply contain a phone number, tricking you into actually calling a live scammer who then smoothly talks you into handing over access.
Section 2. Spotting common signs. The red flags in your inbox. Okay, let's talk red flags. If you open an email and immediately see demands for urgent action, stuff like your account will be locked today or overdue invoice, that is your first major warning sign. Attackers want you panicked. Other classic telltale signs include super generic greetings like "Dear Customer" or noticeable grammar and spelling mistakes. You should always scrutinize the sender's actual email address, not just the display name they typed in. And finally, be highly suspicious of unsolicited, unexpected attachments. Those are still a massive primary delivery method for ransomware. Section 3. Analyzing links and attachments. Look before you leap.
Now, what's really interesting here is just how visually deceptive attackers can be using a neat little trick called typo squatting. They literally register domains that look almost perfectly identical to the real thing. I mean, look at Amazon.com versus Amazon.com, spelled with an A, or PayPal.com versus PayPal1.com, where the L is swapped for a number 1. When you're rushing through a packed inbox, your brain just effortlessly autocorrects these visual tricks, which leads you right into a counterfeit login page.
To defeat this, your absolute best tool is literally just your mouse cursor. Make it a habit to always hover over a link before you click it. This reveals the true URL destination down in the bottom corner of your screen. And hey, here is a really critical warning. If you get a suspicious, unsolicited email, whatever you do, do not click the unsubscribe button. In a malicious email, that button is not going to remove you from some list. Instead, it can secretly trigger a malicious download behind the scenes, or it just signals to the attacker that your email address is active, virtually guaranteeing you're going to be targeted again.
Section 4. Modern Deceptive Tactics. Bypassing traditional defenses.
So as we've all adopted multi-factor authentication, or MFA, the bad guys had to adapt, and this led to the massive rise of the adversary in the middle, or ATM attack, because frankly, just stealing a password isn't really enough for them anymore. Attackers now set up a malicious proxy server, so when you click their link, you are actually looking at the totally real login page, but the attacker is quietly sitting right in the middle. When you type in your password and then type in your one-time MFA code, that proxy captures both of them in real time, allowing the attacker to instantly hijack your active session. These specific attacks have spiked dramatically in just the last few years.
Another really clever bypass is known as phishing, or QR phishing. See, traditional email security gateways are amazing at reading text and scanning normal HTML links, but they really struggle to read embedded images. So attackers just hide their malicious links inside QR codes and drop them into emails or PDF attachments. They're basically hoping you'll pull out your personal phone and scan it, bypassing your corporate network defenses entirely, just because you decided to use your smartphone camera.
Then we have the incredibly sneaky homograph attack. This is where an attacker takes characters from entirely different alphabets, like Cyrillic or Greek, that happen to look totally identical to regular Latin letters. So the URL looks perfectly normal to the naked eye, but here's a brilliant pro tip you can start using literally today. If you copy that suspicious link and paste it into a plain text editor, like regular old Notepad, it strips away all that visual masking. It reveals the true hidden punny code, which just looks like a massive string of gibberish starting with XN --. It's seriously like having X-ray vision for your links.
Finally, for everyone working in corporate environments, you really need to beware of the hidden consent grant attack. Here, you aren't even asked for a password, nothing like that. You are simply asked to click Accept to grant a seemingly harmless new app some basic permissions. But buried deep in those permissions is a specific command, something like directory.readwrite.all. Once you click Accept, the attacker's app can silently take over your entire Microsoft Entra ID cloud environment, completely invisibly and without ever once needing a password.
Section 5. Practical tips for protection. Hardening your defenses.
So what does this all mean for you? The absolute crucial point here is that you have to implement overlapping layers of security. First things first, upgrade to phishing-resistant MFA wherever it's possible. Next, if you are ever unsure about a URL, don't just guess, use automated link checkers. Tools like ESET, Bitdefender, or VirusTotal will scan it safely for you. Always, always keep your system software updated to patch those known vulnerabilities. You also need to regularly back up your data offline. Honestly, this is your ultimate fallback safety net against a ransomware lockout. And finally, keep educating yourself and your team through simulated phishing exercises so everyone stays sharp.
Section 6. What to do if you've clicked. The Incident Response Protocol.
Look, mistakes happen to the absolute best of us. Remember, the attackers only have to be right once. We have to be right every single time. So if you do accidentally click something bad, don't panic. Here are the exact steps to contain the damage. Step 1. Stop communicating immediately. Don't click anything else and isolate the device by taking it offline. Step 2. Go to a totally different safe device and immediately change any passwords that might be compromised. Step 3. Run a full, deep malware scan on the affected machine. Step 4. Notify your IT department immediately so they can lock down the network, and be sure to forward that phishing email to the authorities at reportphishing@apwg.org to help track these criminals down.
As we wrap up this explainer, I just want to leave you with a quick reminder of the sheer, massive scale of this threat. Over 90% of successful corporate security breaches initiate via a phishing email. The technology to protect us is definitely getting better, but human vigilance, that remains your absolute best defense against the billions of malicious emails sent every single day. And I do need to share a quick disclaimer with you. While this explainer provides accurate and reliable security information based on our sources, cyber threats are constantly and rapidly evolving. So this information does not guarantee total immunity from phishing attacks. You should always consult cybersecurity professionals for advice that's tailored to your specific individual or organizational needs. Good security is an ongoing daily practice.
Which leads me to ask you this final question. Are your digital defenses truly ready for the next inbox threat? I highly encourage you to take just a few minutes today to audit your own digital safety habits. Check those MFA settings, and please share this explainer with your colleagues, friends, or family to help raise awareness. Because the next time an urgent, panicky email demands a wire transfer, you're going to know exactly what to do. Stay safe out there.